Repetition is the name of the game in Geometry Dash, so to speak. In order to improve, you really have to give it your all. But playing Geometry Dash and making Geometry Dash videos requires two very different skill sets. To make content for the GD community, it requires a lot of creative effort and a lot of free time. For commentary videos, that means writing, editing, and voicing. For uploading completion videos, the requirement is that you dedicate yourself to the game to an absurd degree, grinding it during most of your free time. It should come as no surprise that lots of GD YouTubers get burnt out from making content at one point or another. Sometimes though, it feels like the player base can't get enough of Geometry Dash. When channels that grow from Geometry Dash content try to move away from the game, frequently the channels will sputter and die. In this video, we'll be looking at some former Geometry Dash YouTubers and see how some of them survive the switch while others don't. For each of the channels that I cover in this video, I'll be giving a quote-unquote autopsy. I'll analyze why the channel died and what it could have done to stay alive. Towards the end, I'll be making a roadmap of sorts to see how you can successfully move your channel away from GD using what we'll learn from the channels that died. First up on this list is Flub. Flub was a Geometry Dash YouTuber that was incredibly well known. Currently, he has one of the largest Geometry Dash channels ever, clocking in with 227,000 subscribers. I say currently because his channel has been on a consistent downward spiral for a while now. In order to have a healthy channel, it needs to be gaining subscribers at a decently consistent rate. In my opinion, I think that consistent growth is more important than surge growth, which is when a channel receives a lot of new subscribers in short bursts. Flub's channel does indeed have a consistently changing subscriber count, but not in the ideal sense. On average, Flub loses about 1,000 subscribers in any given month. Every day, he loses about 30 subscribers, give or take a few. So, why? Why is a channel that was once a haven of growth in the GD community taking on water like this? Well, it's simple. He stopped playing Geometry Dash. Not for too long, but long enough to lose the interest of his fans. He came back to Geometry Dash after his sub growth had plateaued and dropped, but he left for long enough to exit the recommended feed and subscriber feed of most of his fans. Flub's early Geometry Dash content had one thing going for it, and that was the viewer interaction. His level request series featured the tantalizing chance that your level would be featured in a Flub video, which kept people coming back for more. There's a great video that Elfritz made, it's linked in the description. It talks about why Flub's channel flopped after his temporary switch to Minecraft and Fortnite, and it explains why his channel died in more detail. Anyway, let's give Flub's channel an autopsy. When people subscribe to a channel, they expect content to be created by the channel owner that matches the type of content they subscribed for. The content that got Flub fame initially was his viewer interaction. Any person, no matter the quality of what level they made, could be featured on Flub's channel. So it's no surprise that when Flub cut this kind of content from his channel, he immediately lost the interest of thousands upon thousands of his supporters. The lesson that we learned from Flub is that you should always achieve and maintain viewer interaction, no matter what game your channel is focused on. Moving on, let's look at Hopball1. Hopball was a skilled player from a few years back, and when he quit Geometry Dash, he pursued his interests in Fortnite. After his switch, his channel rapidly gained subscribers. That's because of his early success in Fortnite, which led to several shoutouts from big people in that community. Nowadays though, he rarely gets even a tenth of his subscriber count watching his videos. Sure, his first few Fortnite videos got him a lot of attention, but after that, not so much. So, what happened? Well, let's take a closer look. Hopball originally built his channel as a Geometry Dash player, not really as anything else. When he switched to Fortnite from GD, his subbase was obviously caught off guard. That's because Hopball was known for only one thing and nothing else. He rarely branched away from Geometry Dash before he completely phased it out of his channel. Because of that, his views and subscriber growth slowed down drastically overall. He got shoutouts from people with a lot of subscribers in the Fortnite community, but his channel quickly tapered off afterwards. The lesson we can learn from Hopball is that if you want to move away from Geometry Dash, you have to have multiple kinds of content on your channel before you quit. You can't be a Geometry Dash YouTuber one day and a Fortnite player the next. You have to have varied content before you make the switch. RiverCiver is let's just say controversial former Geometry Dash content creator. He uploaded thoughts on videos where he gave his opinions on certain levels. He had multiple other kinds of content as well, but the Thoughts On series was his claim to fame. About 2 years ago, he took a break from Geometry Dash videos and never came back. He then posted a video called The Future of My Channel, where he basically bashed the Geometry Dash community for scrounging for scraps to keep the game alive. He described the community as a desolate wasteland, a place where some channels were doing okay, but for the most part were dying left and right. The ironic part here is that after posting this video, his channel practically immediately died. He uploaded some non-Geometry Dash content to his channel after this, but they didn't even get close to half the views on his GD videos. Why did this happen? Let's take a closer look. RiverCiver's goal with uploading The Future of My Channel was to get his viewers to stop watching Geometry Dash videos. He wanted them to watch videos that had nothing to do with Geometry Dash because A, he thought the game was dying, and B, he wanted them to watch his non-GD content. So why did this effort fail so miserably? Put yourselves in the shoes of one of RiverCiver's fans for a moment. I know it's hard. Imagine your favorite YouTuber that uploads content based on only one game comes out and says that that game sucks and that you suck for liking it. How would you react? Well, probably not well. People quickly abandoned RiverCiver and didn't come back. The moral of the story here is that you should respect your fans even if your interests differ from theirs. If you want to quit Geometry Dash, the last thing you should do is bash the game and talk down to your audience that plays it. Let's change gears for our next person. Instead of looking at the graveyard of YouTube channels, let's look at a success story. It's pretty obvious who I'm planning on bringing up here, so I won't beat around the bush. C1997 was one of the most popular content creators in the Geometry Dash YouTube community. He got his start doing text videos where the viewer would read along with the video. He eventually started using his microphone and his channel became incredibly successful afterwards. He's known as one of the first real content creators in the GD community and grew so popular because of his pioneering work. Nowadays though, he makes videos about space and science, and is one of the few channels that grew from Geometry Dash content, but was able to grow after he stopped making GD videos. Since he quit making content related to GD, his channel took off. Let's talk about why. The first aspect we have to examine is what the new content that C is creating is like. For the most part, they're about space, math, and science. I've actually watched a few of these videos, and I have to say, they're excellent. Entertaining, informative, researched, well written, everything you could really ask for. Now, I also watched a few of his old Geometry Dash videos, and I have to say, they weren't as good as I remember them being. The scripts felt awkward, the voicing was only okay, and the editing wasn't that great either. Now, that's not to say that they were bad, but I think that one reason C was so successful is because he was one of the first people to make scripted GD content, so there wasn't much to compare C's videos to. How does this tie into him being able to exit the Geometry Dash community in a way that let his channel grow even larger afterwards? It was the fact that his new videos were stellar. Simply put, he just makes better content nowadays. Most people will watch high quality videos, like the ones he puts out now. The main takeaway is that if your channel is to disconnect from GD, your new videos have to be very high quality, good enough to be successful in a community that religiously watches Geometry Dash content. Moving on, I want to talk about audiences on YouTube. All Geometry Dash YouTubers have an audience that's interested in Geometry Dash, just like all Minecraft YouTubers have an audience that's interested in Minecraft. So, when a channel changes its content, it's alienating its audience. People who watch the channel for Geometry Dash videos will suddenly not be seeing Geometry Dash from that channel. The channel that's trying to move away from GD can't rely on the old audience to watch. That's simply not how it works. The channel has to build up a new audience that's interested in the new topics. To put it simply, the content has to appeal to people outside of the GD community. If the channel can't do that, it won't succeed. So, how can it be done? How can a Geometry Dash channel escape the clutches of the Geometry Dash community without underperforming? Well, let's look at what we've learned. What we learned from Flub is that viewer interaction with your channel is key, especially if that's what made your channel successful in the first place. There should always be some kind of audience engagement with the channel, as it keeps viewers interested and coming back to watch videos. Hubble taught us that in order for a channel to succeed post-GD, you need to be known for more than just one thing. You can be known as a Geometry Dash player, and also as 5 other things, all at once. so that if your content changes, it doesn't catch your audience off guard. RiverCiver embodies the point that you should always respect your audiences, as they can turn on you on a dime. You have to respect their interests, and if they aren't as interested in non-GD content, you can't blame them for it. The Geometry Dash community is interested in Geometry Dash content, so even if the channel's audience isn't watching, never insult them. And finally, C shows that the new videos have to be very high quality. If you can blow the audience away with each new video, they will watch, no matter what you upload. So that's why Geometry Dash channels often fail at quitting GD, and how future channels can be more successful after changing their content. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, I'd appreciate a like. My Twitter is in the description, so if you're ever interested in recommending a video idea, I'm all ears. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.